Well, thank you very much. My name's Tara Christie. I'm the president and CEO of Banyan Gold. We've got a very large, a 7 million ounce gold deposit located in Canada's Yukon. And this image that you're looking at shows our land position where you can see 7 million ounces. And a few things that'll jump out of that image for you are that it's very flat ground. There are no big mountains, no glaciers, no lakes, no rivers. And in fact, you're seeing the main power line to the hydroelectric dam that's only 50 kilometers away. Even roads and cell phone service here. And $2,700 gold is kind of what I've waited my career for. My whole career has been in gold, and where else in Canada can you buy gold for $5 per ounce? That's what we're currently valued at. And as you walk around this show here, you'll see lots of companies that are currently undervalued despite the price of gold. And what is that company going to do to change that? And what do they have that's going to make them a desirable asset? Well, what we have is a tier one asset. 7 million ounces is above that critical threshold of 5 million ounces, which majors really need in order to be interested in a project and for it to be developed. And as you go around, critically ask yourself, which of the projects around here are most likely to be developed and which will be advanced? I'm going to make forward-looking statements. I'm a big shareholder in Banyan. We're located in the Yukon. Hecla Mining's immediately adjacent to us, a large silver mine. The Victoria Gold Eagle asset is down the road. This is a belt of rocks in the Yukon where we have had major new discoveries in the last few years. We made our discovery in 2019. Snowline out to the east, a fabulous intrusion, same type of geology with the exception that they found their intrusion. We have 300 square kilometers with roads and hydropower on the property. A very large deposit, 7 million ounces now. We drilled 21,000 meters last year after that resource. We're set to update our resource here in Q2, focused on continuing to expand it, but also converting from inferred to indicated. There you can see the deposits, 5 kilometers. Our power line deposit, our airstrip deposit is a calcareous replacement deposit, dips at 60 degrees underneath power line. Power line are these same sheeted veins that are characteristic of these types of deposits in the Yukon. There you can see them, lots of visible gold with good recoveries, which I'll talk about a little later. 7 million ounces, but within that at a higher cutoff grade, 4 million ounces at that critical 1 gram and 2.4 million ounces at 1.45. We know this mineralization goes to depth. We've drilled to 650 meters vertically, mineralized all the way down in that hole. The 21,000 meters is going to substantially change the profile and set us up for our first economic assessment this year. Lots of holes right from surface, very low strip ratio, mineralization from surface, and you'll see lots of holes with long intercepts of 1 gram and even up to 2.3 grams per ton over long intercepts. That's exactly what we were targeting this year on what the key area that's going to be part of our PEA. Oops. So why invest in Banyan, and what key things should you be looking at as you evaluate all the companies around here? Does the project and the company have the type of deposit that is going to be desirable to be developed? Is it over that 5 million ounce threshold? And in fact, I'd arm wave and show you on a section, I think we have potential for 10 million plus. We've had a couple analysts who've said more than that. Does the company have a leadership team that has experience in moving projects forward? Do they spend your money well as shareholders? If you look at our financials, you'll see that 85% of our money that we've raised goes into the ground. We're very creative. We've managed to have a very strong treasury going into 2025. We even have something called revenue, which is very unusual for a junior. We made over $1.5 million last year from our services. So we're looking out for our shareholders. And the other thing I ask of is, does the leadership team have skin in the game and real skin in the game? Have they invested in the company? And I'll show you that I have a very significant personal stake in this company, and I'm very well vested with my shareholders. Infrastructure is critical. It's very difficult to permit and build new roads in Canada into pristine areas. We've got those existing hydropower lines, roads, even cell phone on Earth. And in this gold price, it's kind of what I've worked my career for. I became the CEO of this company in 2016, acquired this asset in 2017. 2019, we made our discovery, so 4.5 years, we're already at 7 million ounces with lots of room to grow, and really excited to be moving it forward with a PEA. And these belts of rocks, and in mining, you see mines are built around the infrastructure that's already put in, with 2 mines right beside us. That's a key attribute. There's over 25 million ounces within a 100-kilometer radius of us already. That is a district, and it will get attention from the majors. And it already has in the Yukon. We're seeing investments by the majors, and many looking around, because if you listen to David Garofalo and Frank Giustra this morning, majors haven't replaced their reserves. There is a big gap coming, and 10 million ounces or 7 million ounces is significant to every single one of them for their balance sheet. Here's just a plan view of our deposit. I'm not going to belabor it, but lots of room for it to grow east, west, south, connect the 2 deposits. Power lines, first time we drilled on since 2020. We know that we can add ounces both proximal and at depth. How are we going to generate value, and what did we do? We had a very strategic program last year focused on getting ourselves ready for that PEA, that 20,000 meters of drilling, along with metallurgy, scoping studies, and preliminary engineering. And this year, we plan to put out our resource update in Q2. We'll start drilling in the summer, so we'll have results through the fall and into 2025, and then we'll have our PEA in Q4 and results into 2026. So a really strong value creation program, our strategy for this year, and you can see a couple of our quotes from some of the analysts that cover us. As I said, we got some strong shareholders, Fidelity and Franklin. They're 2 major U.S. funds. They don't generally invest in some sub-100 million market cap companies. They did over 6 months of due diligence and site visits before they made their investment. I think that's a real testament to the quality, along with the Cisco development. Within our high net worth, we have numerous CEOs of mining companies and people that really understand the business. So you ask, why are you trading at $5 per ounce then? Well, the Yukon had some challenges last year with our neighboring mine having an incident at their heap leach pad, which resulted in our share price being hit pretty hard. As the closest mining company to them, we're seeing that situation resolve, and I think along with our results, as that continues to resolve, our share price will rebound back to where we were and beyond where we were last year. So we've been very careful with our capital to manage ourselves through that situation and have been actively managing the relationships around that. We get lots of coverage from Cormark and Paradigm. I encourage you to get their research reports. There's just our financings. We don't finance with warrants. Our shareholders have been very supportive, and I like people that buy in the market to be able to make money alongside the ones who do participate. Key also on that financing, I'm a 4% shareholder, which I bought in the market. I'm the 3rd CEO of this company, so I've got over $2 million in cash. So I think I've got some real skin in the game, not just free shares. And when you walk around here, ask management how they got their shares. Did they participate in the private placement? Do they have real cash in, or did they get founders shares in the beginning at a much lower price? Our founders shares were 15 cents, and everybody got the same shares. We're currently trading 18 to 20 cents. Here's the area we drilled out. We know that we're pretty excited with the results. We're seeing those high-grade 1 gram ounce, gram per ton intercepts right from surface. We know this is an intrusion-related system like the other ones. Key thing is we haven't found our intrusion yet, so that's a really exciting target for us as we go into 2025. On the sections, you can see there's lots of room for this to grow. Importantly, we can recover the gold, get very strong recoveries, 93% from gravity CIL and gravity flotation, which could be a lower capital cost option at 84. We're currently working to try to get that up a couple percent, but 2 very strong mill options. Yukon has an established permitting process. It's something my team knows well. We've got millions of dollars and years of data. We're ready to go into that permitting process and certainly have an advantage, having been involved in it in numerous other properties in the Yukon. Lots of exploration upside on our 300 square kilometers. Where do we rate? Well, some of our neighbors are currently trading about $100 per ounce. We're at $5. At lower gold prices, we saw takeouts at 100, and most recently, other takeouts at 500. Is my target to sell this company at this price? Absolutely not. We've got a tremendous amount of upside, and I'm pretty determined to make sure that we've realized that for our shareholders. Where do we sit? You know, fifth largest in North America, open pit project, 7 million ounces is significant. It is very rare. But combined with the mine down the road, we would have over 15 million ounces in resources, a mine that could be back in production in a couple years, and being a 400,000 to 600,000 ounce producer within 5 to 6 years. That is extremely rare from a timeline and a scale of resource. This is a district. It will attract attention, and it is. Super important to be doing it right. I've got long-standing relationships with First Nations in this community. We're doing it right on the environment and the social side. I've run a charity for 13 years in the Yukon, 100% volunteer, given out over $2.5 million now, really to First Nations and communities and schools. We've got a great team. We're moving towards development. Come and talk to me about it, but we really have built the expertise that will help us move this project forward. And in this gold market, there's lots of reasons to invest in Banyan. Key is that we have an incredible asset in a great jurisdiction with exceptional infrastructure, which we are taking all the right steps to de-risk and move it towards development in an environment where gold companies are looking for ounces in the ground, add to their balance sheets and projects which need to be developed. We've got a strong path with Catalyst. We're very careful with our shareholders' dollars. Please come talk to me. I'd love to have you as a shareholder, and I'm always available to talk to my shareholders.